Michelle.
And I'm Janet.
And we're Gingerbread Corner. And today we're going to review our Oktoberfest Festival that we did over the weekend.
Alright, so let's start with our expectations for the day. What we're expecting?
Well, I was expecting it to be really busy for us with like a long lines waiting for people to buy our gingerbread cookies because gingerbread is part of Oktoberfest, and also because there was no other gingerbread people there. We had no competition, would have been.
Yeah, and I'm expecting because people will be done with their hot food towards the end, people that have sweet tooth, they will want to get a gingerbread cookie. I didn't expect huge rushes, but I expected consistency and people buying cookies from us.
Yeah, like always just being busy and not really stopping, but there were some dead moments.
There was probably a lot of dead moments. It started off dead and it was a bit awkward, let's just say, at the start where we were just standing around. Luckily we had company, the guy next to us who was selling Bavarian nuts. We were both dead.
They also didn't really have a lot of business either.
Yeah.
I was really wanting it to be, lots of drunk people trying to push their way to the front just to buy our cookies. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect any argy-bargy along the way. I expected that people would be at least both of us being busy at the same time selling cookies. It just didn't happen that way. So let's talk about the reality of the day and how it actually turned out.
Well, when we first got there to set up on the day before, we saw the store looked like, and it was like a playpen, but it was just much taller. So there was a huge fence sort of thing at the front, and then this huge wall with wooden panels at the back. So it was, because our table also was really short, so when we put our cookies on the table, you can't see anything.
Yeah, it's probably like a petting zoo where people had to look into it. So if we had kept all our cookies at the low, people wouldn't know what was going on behind those pallets unless they came really close, and that attracts nobody to your store. So really hard to sell the sort of cookies, because our cookies are flat. It's not like they're high up and they're not gigantic either, so how are people meant to see it? So that was a huge issue for us. Yeah.
And also because we don't usually do festivals, so we didn't have big signage to point to say that we have cookies. We have a homemade sign, which we did put up at the beginning, but it looked a bit lame-o.
It looks sad.
Yeah, it looked sad. So it was really hard to get people to see what we were actually selling.
I think their expectation for us was to have gigantic round heart-shaped cookies like they do in Germany, and to actually hang them off the pallets and stuff like that. Firstly, they didn't give us anything to hang anything off. We would literally have to show up with nails and probably put them in the pallets ourselves. Secondly, our cookie recipe is not that sort of style.
That's right.
It's not a hard cookie. It's quite a soft cookie. It kind of breaks if you hang it up too much by a string. And that's just not our persona to do that sort of cookie. Ours is more cutesy, bright colours, pastel-y, and German cookies are very different to that. So if they had asked us and told us that that's what their expectation was of us, we probably wouldn't have done it.
Because the customers also did want those big ones that they could hang around their necks, because they kept asking for them. And then a lot of our cookies actually had the words Oktoberfest written, which no one really wanted. They wanted messages like Ich liebe dich, which means I love you.
Either it meant I love you, or they thought it meant the other word, which is the word, and that's what they wanted too, because that's the sort of audience they were.
Yeah, so we didn't have a lot of those because we thought people would want ones that said Oktoberfest, to say I went to Oktoberfest. But no, they wanted messages on there.
They wanted German messages.
Yeah. And then the actual event itself, well, we had two sessions. So one was 12 to 5, and then one was 6:30 to 11:30. Well, I knew that the 11:30 to 6:30 one was going to be a lot of drunk people because it's nighttime and Saturday night as well. But the 12 to 5 one, surprisingly, even though there was kids there, not many, but there were some kids, there were still quite a few drunk people, wasn't there?
There was heaps of drunk people, and then we were coming up to our table. They were not walking in a straight line. They struggled to get change out just to buy the cookies. Some people brought cookies, left without the cookies. And then there was the somewhat racist lady who asked us, are these German-style gingerbread or are they Asian Chinese gingerbread.
Yeah.
What the hell are Asian Chinese gingerbread?
Yeah, they must have had like a bit of bok choy in there to
bit
make
of
the Chinese
Bok
style
choy,
gingerbread.
hoisin sauce on the side or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were making.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like when she said that, it's like, oh, they're more Chinese style gingerbread. I'm like, what does that mean?
What the hell does
Gingerbread
that
doesn't
mean?
even come from Asia. Like, how do you make a Chinese style?
A way to judge us just by what you see. Like, well, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were running out of change because they couldn't count change because they were obviously drunk.
Maybe.
So they just kept giving us big notes. And then all the stores were running out of change because it was really hard for them to count coinage and...
Yeah. So it was a big old mess, a little bit.
Yeah.
Luckily nobody threw up, so bonus for that.
Yeah, that was good. No one threw up.
Yeah.
At the nighttime one, we did see one person getting chased and thrown out. He was in like a weird jockey costume or whatever, and the security was chasing him. When they caught him, he tried to hug them, and then when they were hugging him, they were pushing him out of the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Oktoberfest. Well, we kind of expected it to be like that, didn't we?
A little bit. A little bit. Probably not as bad because it was in an indoor event.
Yeah,
It
true.
was at the Royal Exhibition Building. You know, it's a nice building. It's arty. You think people would be more well behaved. If it was an outdoor event, I expected more rowdiness. But I thought for indoors, it was more traditional rather than also a drunk fest. But maybe that's just the culture of the day.
It's just the festival as itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So let's talk about the positives of the day. So I think this is our first ever festival that we've ever done for Gingerbread Corner. A lot of people keep telling us like, yeah, you guys will do so well at festivals. So we thought, okay, let's try it. We tried it, probably still not for us.
Yeah.
But the positive is we've tried it and now we know.
Yeah, exactly. And we got to meet some new store holders, like the people next to us, who was the Nutty Bavaria. They were really nice. And they didn't really have much business either, but so we just chatted with each other. And then even the pretzel people who were super busy, they were probably the busiest and they did really, really well. They actually had the line going like really
whole time.
They were just continuously serving. They were really nice people as well. They gave us some freebies. We got free pretzels at the end of the day, and the Nutty Bavarian gave us some of their nuts. I mean, it was really nice.
Immature of us, I know, but
it was really
they were great.
Tasty nuts.
Tasty warm nuts.
Yeah. And the security people did really well, and the cleaners did really well as well.
The cleaners were great.
All the workers there, they did really, really well.
Really good, considering the rowdiness of the people. Yeah. So that was our positives.
That was positive.
Yeah.
And we did, make some good money as well. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as much as we thought it was gonna be.
It probably just didn't meet our expectations because we probably had high expectations for the day, considering that it's a busy event. But if we didn't have any expectations, it probably would have been an okay day. Like money-wise, we made good money. We met new people, and it's a different experience that we've never had before.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about the negatives of the day. The negatives of the day is probably we were out of that element. It felt like we were a sore thumb that didn't really mesh well with the event of the day. We're more handmade, crafty sort of business.
Yeah.
And this was a more like, they want rough, easy food, hot dogs, chips, not pretty little delicate biscuits to take away.
Yeah, we didn't really fit in there. Probably one of the biggest negatives is we are having to deal with a lot of drunk people. Especially near our merchandise.
Yeah. I mean, being the sober people at a drunk event, you see a lot of unruly behaviours.
Yeah.
And then also having to sort of sell cookies and be sort of pleasant with them.
Exactly.
When in reality,
That's right.
if those people came up to you, you just be like, get away from me.
Yeah, exactly. Because usually when drunk people like that come up to me, I get just automatically defensive.
Yes.
And when I'm defensive, I get angry inside. And usually my response will be to like, go away.
Get away, but
you
really
can't be like that because they're just having fun and
That's
they're
right.
just like, luckily they weren't, no one was violent or anything like that, and there was security everywhere, which is good.
Yeah.
But that's like instant reaction.
That's right. When really you have to hold yourself and just go with it. So when they come up to you and they're drunk and they're like, oh my god, like which ones are these cookies? And we're like, they're all cookies. You have to be extra peppy, almost to the point of sarcasm, but they don't get it because they're so drunk anyway. So you just have to be upbeat and just continue with that.
Yeah. And I would say another kind of bit of a downer is, yes, we knew that we didn't already have enough business and it was empty at times.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to keep being reminded of it.
By the organisers.
By organisers and by some of the customers as well.
That's right.
It's like, and they're like, oh, how should we get some more people to your store? How do we attract them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't know. I thought that was your job to help us, you know, help us with the back wall, because we had nothing on our back wall because we didn't bring enough. We didn't know what it was going to be like that, so we didn't bring any huge signs or anything. We don't do huge signs anyway.
It's probably like a different sort of organizer that we're not used to. We're probably used to like more female organizers that are into like creatives and crafty things. So when they see the cookies, they're like, there's a lot of appreciation for handmade stuff, and then they're super organized where they'll tell you exactly what space you're going to be in, what sort of display you need, and then our display sort of fits in with that persona. Whereas this is like big and almost industrially made sort of signage that they wanted. And they wanted like rough looking cookies that more to attract attention rather than for people to appreciate the creativity of it. And then I think they didn't know what we were like, and we didn't know what their expectations were like, so it just didn't mesh well. And for anybody else it would have been fine, but for us we're like, this isn't the way we're used to people being organised for these sort of events that we normally do. But that's probably what a festival is, and that's just a learning curve that we need to take.
But that's really only negatives. That. Alright, so would we do it again?
We wouldn't do the Oktoberfest again, I don't think. Nor would we do like music festivals where it's all about drinking and partying. We would definitely do things that are skewed towards sweet food and cute food.
Like the Unicorn Festival.
There
is another one in Melbourne.
Anyone out there who's organising a Unicorn Festival, please email us, Gingerbread Corner. We would love to be involved. And stuff like the Donut Festival, where it's all about sweetness and cuteness. Obviously, we can make cookies into donut shapes.
Or any festival that maybe has more kids or mums that take them, and because they like the designs of the cookies, so they'll see and they're like, oh yeah, I want that.
I mean, not to be a sexist towards the men, but obviously our cookies are for women. It's like skewed more towards women liking it.
Well, women will buy it, whereas men will look at it and be like, I want to eat that because it looks delicious, but I'm too embarrassed to buy it because it looks pretty.
I'm too embarrassed to buy a pink cookie.
That's right.
Get confident, men. It's okay. I find only the older men that are more comfortable and 100% secure in themselves. They're like, okay, pink cookie, I'll deal with it. But otherwise, definitely women that like to gift it to other women, and also their husbands and kids are definitely our customers. So any festival that kind of skews towards those sort of audience is probably our people, our tribe.
Probably better suited to them. Our cookies are better suited to those ones.
Definitely.
So at least we did it, and I'm still glad that we did do it.
It's still a good experience.
And there's still some really funny moments and good moments, and we got some freebies, so that's always good.
Freebies, experience, and got to see behind the scenes of a festival, so
that's right.
All good.
Cool.
Well, thanks for tuning in to our channel. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe, and then we'll catch you next week. Thanks.
Bye.